Hi there, I'm Andy. Welcome to our Jukebox Buyer's Guide. In this guide, we're going to cover off both buying either brand new jukeboxes or vintage. So in the brand new area, we've got a choice of CD, vinyl or digital. And in the vintage area, we concentrate on the late 50s, which is known as the silver age of jukeboxes. One thing to bear in mind is we're the only dealer in the UK to be an official dealer for both Sound Leisure and Rock-Ola. Those are the only two manufacturers in the world now still making jukeboxes. And we also do vintage jukeboxes as well. On top of that, we offer finance on our jukebox range, and you can also come and visit our showroom and come and see and listen to a jukebox for yourself. Okay, so let's start off with brand new jukeboxes and go through the main choices that you have here. So there are two manufacturers, Sound Leisure, they're made in the UK, in Leeds in actual fact, and you've got Rock-Ola, they're made in the US, in Los Angeles. So those are the two manufacturers, nobody else is still running. The last manufacturer that was still running was Wurlitzer, but they closed down about 2010. So Sound Leisure, Rock-Ola are the two to look at. All the Rock-Ola jukeboxes all come in the dome top style. So this dome top style dates back to the Wurlitzer 1015, which came out in the late 40s, so 1948, played 78s, but it's the classic sort of jukebox style. So all the Rock-Ola jukeboxes all look like a dome top. Sound Leisure make two styles. They make the dome top style, and they also do a late 50s style jukebox with a sort of a squarer sort of top to it with glass and chrome, and they look really nice. So those are the two sort of choices. If you wanted to have that sort of late 50s style but in a brand new jukebox, then it's the Sound Leisure Rocket range that you need to be looking at. Okay, so you've got three mediums to choose from. So you've got vinyl playing jukeboxes, you've got CD playing jukeboxes, or you've got digital jukeboxes. So digital jukebox meaning that you've actually got a touch screen here. The music is loaded into the system in there, and you can touch the screen, it'll play a tune for you. So I'm going to run you through each of those three different mediums and tell you really the key features and why you might want to buy that particular type of jukebox. Great, so let's have a look at the Sound Leisure range of their vinyl jukeboxes. There are three different types that you can buy in the Sound Leisure range. We'll look at the SL45 first of all. So this takes 70 records. They sit in a drum there that spins around and it picks out the record to play it there. You've got the title cards on here as well. It actually comes with title card software for you to be able to print these cards with access to that free of charge for 12 months. Inside the unit, there's an amplifier which provides 60 watts per channel, and that's across 4 channels. So 2 channels are inside the actual jukebox, and the other 2 channels allow you to attach 2 external speakers to it, and they're driven by the other 2 lots of 60 watts. The speakers inside this one, you get 5 speakers, you got 1 bass speaker, 2 mid-range and 2 tweeters. So the other features that come as standard is you get Bluetooth on there. So the benefit of Bluetooth is either using your phone or maybe a tablet, is if you've got Spotify or Apple Music, for example, you can have all your music on there and actually play it through your jukebox via the Bluetooth connection, which is really easy to use and dead handy if you've got stacks of music that you've also got digitally as well as on vinyl. It comes with remote control, so again from your armchair you can control it, you can move the volume up and down, you can pick different tracks, get it to play different discs, so it's a really nice feature to have as standard. In terms of finishes, so this is actually in a blonde oak finish, but there are lots of other finishes that you can get. All the details for these are all on the website, but this gives you a bit of an idea of the different colours that you can get, different sort of shades of wood, and obviously different colours as well. So some really nice finishes available on there as well. Okay, so let's talk about lighting then on the SL45. You've got 2 choices. First one is as standard, it comes with what's called pilaster, and the pilaster is basically an outer tube which has coloured filters on it which rotates around a tube on the inside. Looks very attractive, they just rotate round and round, you can't change them, that's just how they look. Second option, which is what this one's fitted with, is called the diamond pack. So it costs you more money, but it gives you a whole load of control over what you can do with the lighting. There's a lot you can do, which is why I'm holding the instruction booklet. We're going to do a separate video that gives you a full rundown of this and actually plays each of the different settings a bit longer. But just for the sake of you getting an idea what it does, I thought I'd just flick through the different settings on here now and tell you what they're called. So this is the standard one, which is called rotisserie. And then that is called RGB fade, which is 6 variations of colours using reds, greens and blues. Then you go to SL mix or rainbow, slowly fading solid blocks of colour covering the whole jukebox, which includes a large variation of vibrant hues, which is pretty nice in pink. Then we go to 3, which is called slow disco, a moving colour chase slowly changing through the colours of the rainbow. 4 is red green mix. 5 blue red mix. 6 fast disco. 7 is colour shift, which just goes through lots of different colours. 8, which is called ladder, and then 9, which is colour chase. So if you want to see those running in full, watch our other video. That'll give you an idea of what that looks like. So last thing on, while we're talking about the SL45, is talking about dinked and non-dinked records. So what's a dinked record? So a dinked record is this, where it's had the inner circle taken out. When you used to buy them back in the day, they just come with like the small little circle in there. But to play in a jukebox, they had to come like that. Now the great thing about the SL45, in fact, all the jukeboxes we sell, all the brand new ones we sell now, they can play both types. So it means you don't have to grapple around trying to cut out all of these. I've cut out hundreds of the centres of these and broken several records at the same time. So having that facility is really useful. Okay, so the other option to get a Sound Leisure vinyl jukebox is to get the Rocket style. So this is the 50 style, Silver Age. This has got our Jack Daniels branding on it, which looks great, but you don't have to have that. You can have it in a range of different finishes. And they do this in 2 versions. The first version that they do is one that takes 45s. So that's 7-inch singles, it takes 70, and the specs of this are the same as the SL45. So you've got 60 watts per channel across 4 channels. You've got 5 speakers in it, a bass, 2 mid-range, 2 tweeters. It comes with Bluetooth as standard, comes with a remote control as standard. You can get a diamond pack on this as well. Obviously it doesn't look quite like it does on that, but you can get a diamond pack as an option on this one as well. So that's the first version, the 45s. They also do another one called the Long Player, and that plays 12-inch records, and it will play those either at 45 revolutions per minute or at 33. So it means if you've got 12-inch singles, so I don't know, New Order, Blue Monday only came out on 12-inch as a single, you could put that in there and it'll play that at 45, or you could have classic albums and it'll play those at 33. So it takes 10 of those records and comes with exactly the same set of features and specifications as the other models. Okay, so now let's look at Rock-Ola's vinyl offering, and this is the vinyl bubbler. Comes in a range of different finishes. It takes 100 records, so it actually takes more records than the Sound Leisure one will do. So that was taking 70, this takes 100, which is quite a nice feature to have on there. But it doesn't have the diamond pack option for the lighting. It just has the sort of pilaster style lighting that I was talking about. The amplifier though is more beefy. It's 425 watts per channel on the amplifier on this one, and has the same speaker setup. So it's got 1 bass speaker, it's got 2 mid-range and 2 tweeters built into it. So specification wise, with this one, more records, beefier amplifier, but you don't have the option for the lighting on there. It also has the auto mix or intermix, or however you want to call it, where you can put in either dinked or non-dinked records that I showed you when we were looking at the SL45. The other thing as well on this one is the mechanism is more theatrical. On the SL45 it just slides the record out, plays it and slides it back, whereas on this one it kind of picks it out, twists it round and puts it on the platter, which actually looks quite nice as well. So that's it, that is the Rock-Ola vinyl bubbler. Okay, so let's talk about brand new CD jukeboxes now. Again, we'll start off with Sound Leisure, and we've got the Sound Leisure SL15 is what I'm stood by here. It's running through the specifications. So first of all, in terms of discs, it takes 80 in here. The amplifier and speakers and everything, all the specs are the same as we were looking at on the SL45 when we were looking at the vinyl one. So the amplifier is 60 watts per channel across 4 different channels, 2 internal, 2 via externally connected speakers. The internal speakers, you've got 5 of them, 1 bass, 2 mid-range, 2 tweeters. It comes with a remote control, comes with Bluetooth as standard on there, and again you've got the option of going for the diamond pack, which is what this one's got, if you wanted to upgrade from the standard pilaster style lighting pack. So that's it, that's the Sound Leisure SL15. Okay, so your other option for a brand new Sound Leisure CD jukebox is to go for the Rocket style. So this is the late 50s Silver Age style of jukebox. And the specification is exactly the same. It's got the same CD mechanism in there that takes 80 CDs. It's got the same amplifier, 60 watts per channel, same speakers, 1 bass, 2 mid-range, 2 tweeters, comes with remote control as standard, comes with Bluetooth as standard on there. So that's it, that's the Rocket Sound Leisure CD jukebox. So let's look at the brand new jukeboxes that are available from Rock-Ola. So we've got a Harley Davidson model here, but they do a whole different range of looks, but always in this sort of dome top style. So the bubbler is probably the most popular, and that comes in a range of different wood finishes. But they all have the same specifications. So they actually come with 100 CD capacity. So where we looked at the Sound Leisure, that was 80. You can get 100 discs into the Rock-Ola range. The amplifier is 425 watts again, so again, same as we were looking at when we were looking at the vinyl model, which is behind me. Speakers in there, again, it takes 5, it's got 5, so you've got a bass, 2 mid-range and 2 tweeters. Comes as standard with Bluetooth, comes as standard with a remote control. So that's it, that's your Rock-Ola. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention was just the style of mechanism. So where the Sound Leisure one just slides the disc in to be able to play it, on this one, it actually turns the basket there and brings the CD out and puts it in the player. So it's a bit more theatrical in terms of the way that the mechanism works. So let's move on to our third choice of medium, and that's digital jukeboxes. So again, we've got products from both Sound Leisure and from Rock-Ola, but they are quite different in the way that they operate. They've both got touch screens, but that's where the similarities end. Let's have a look first of all at the Sound Leisure model. So touchscreen, as I say, but the music is stored inside on a hard drive, and the way that it gets there is that it either is sent to you on a CD every 2 weeks and you can upload it onto the hard drive from there, or you can download it from the internet. So you can either connect to the internet via an Ethernet cable to your router, or buying the optional Wi-Fi dongle, which you can just hook it up into your Wi-Fi network. To access the SoundNet system, that's where the music comes from, costs you £24 a month. And what that gives you is every single top 40 single going back to 1952. And as I said, it updates every single week. So every single week when the top 40 updates, you get all the music automatically downloads, if you're connected to the internet, to your jukebox, which is pretty good. And also you get the top 10 albums from the last 3 years on there as well. So really good range of music that's very easily delivered. So if you fancy a jukebox and you can't be bothered with either collecting vinyl or CDs, messing about with labels, and you just want the music to magically appear to your jukebox, there you go. That's the Sound Leisure digital model. But you've got to pay £24 a month, which I don't think is too much money to be able to access the music from the SoundNet system. So the alternative is the Rock-Ola Music Center. So they take a very different system. So it's still got a touchscreen display, but the hard drive that's in there, you need to physically put the music on there. So that's either via CDs that you already own, or I guess you borrow from people, or MP3 files. So you can load those onto that hard drive and then be able to access them via the touchscreen. It also comes with Bluetooth, so if you want to be able to use Spotify, Apple Music, etc., then you can do on that particular one. And the specification is exactly the same as all the rest of their jukeboxes, so 425 watt amp, 5 speakers in there, remote control, same kind of setup. So you've got 2 different options. Sound Leisure, the music gets on there very easily for you. You don't really have to do a lot, but you have to pay £24 a month for the benefit. If you go down the Rock-Ola route, then you need to do quite a bit of hard work to get the music on there. But once it's on there, you've got your entire library of CDs available digitally, which is quite nice to have. Okay, so to summarise, buying a brand new jukebox, I think really for me, it's about you deciding which type of medium is best for you. If you've got a stack of old 45 records that are up in the loft, loads of tunes that you loved back in the day, and you want to get a jukebox and pop all those in there, make the labels and just love that music, I think that's the way to go. You might have stacks of CDs, same thing again, just sort of sat in the loft not doing anything. It's a great way to use them, and also to sort of collect them. I've loved having 45 vinyl jukebox myself, and just buying job lots from eBay or going to flea markets or old sort of second-hand shops. So that's really good fun. And I think just choose which one is based upon the music medium that you prefer. If you want a bit of an easier life, then the digital way is the way to go. So, you know, it's really up to you as to which one you decide to choose. Within each of those, there are lots of different versions of sort of finishes and styles which you can choose from. And those are all on the website. And really that's just about personal taste. You choosing with your eyes, you go with what you think looks best. Pretty much they've all got the same hardware specification inside them. It's just the look, and that's really down to you and your personal taste, whether you want to go for one of the branded ones. So we looked at the Jack Daniels machine earlier on, or you can get the Marshall, the Harley Davidson that we looked at earlier on. So it depends if there's a certain affinity you have with a brand, you could go with one of those choices as well. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so let's look at vintage jukeboxes, and let's split it up into two sections then. So first of all, the different eras, and then let's look at the different manufacturers. So first of all, the different eras. So you've either got the golden age or the silver age. And the golden age is late 40s, so 1948 is the key year, and that's when the Wurlitzer 1015 came out, and that's the classic sort of dome top styling that we see on so many jukeboxes nowadays. That was the model that first had that, and you'd find that in bars and diners in the States when everybody came back from the Second World War, and that was the sort of famous jukebox design, and that's the golden age. Silver age jukeboxes are based in the late 50s, so that's sort of 1955 to 1961, when they were inspired by the designs of cars of that era. So lots of glass, lots of chrome, lovely lighting, great colours, and they just look amazing. So that's silver age 1955 to 1961. So there are four main manufacturers that we really focus on in terms of the vintage jukeboxes that we sell, and those are AMI, also known as Bal-Ami. So they actually had a company making them in the UK from 1953 to about 1960, so they'll be called Bal-Ami. Then you've got Rock-Ola, you've got Seeburg, and you've got Wurlitzer. Those are the four main manufacturers that we would look to sell, and there are a few notable models made by each of those different ones. And I'm just going to run you through some of the key ones that I'd recommend considering if you're looking at getting yourself a vintage jukebox. Okay, so let's look at AMI first of all, and the reason I go for that one first really is they tend to be the most popular. There tend to be quite a few of them about, and they're in really good condition, and I really like them. So the way that they tend to go is in letters. So the ones that we tend to focus on are from AMI H onwards. So you've got H and I, which have both got really beautiful sort of wraparound glass, lots of chrome. They tend to come in either spearmint or in pink, and they'll either come in 100 or 200 plays. So that's 200 sort of selections. So play 100 records, but both sides give you 200 selections. They come in either a manual selection, which is where you've got a wheel on the front to be able to select your record, or electronic, which is where you've got the kind of piano style keys that you can press down to be able to select those. So that's AMI, H and I. They then moved on to do the Continental. So you then got the Continental 1 and Continental 2, and the Continental 2 actually came in stereo as well. So those are also worth considering. They were inspired by Sputnik, the space program, which is why they've got that amazing kind of dome which goes over the record mechanism, and you've got this sort of wrap-around selection of all the records, all the little cards all sort of showing up there, which looks really quite dramatic. So that's the choices in jukeboxes made by AMI. So looking next at Wurlitzer, there's quite a few different styles and models from Wurlitzer. We've had quite a few over the years, but generally speaking, you've got the 1800 and the 1900, which is a centennial model, really popular, looks great, got a nice kind of wrap-around glass around the front of it. And then they've got quite a few that have got a kind of like a wedge-shaped sort of design with a sort of sloping glass front, so you can see the record playing in there, and all of the selections all go around the record platter. And you'll find those in the 2300 and 2400 groups of model numbers. And again, they're available in a range of different selections that will either take 50 records, 60 records, or as many as 100 records in there. And again, if you see an S on the end, so like 2300S, it means that it's stereo. So stereo came out about sort of 1958, and those are worth looking for. If you're sort of choosing between one, I suggest going for a stereo model because it was a more advanced system at the time. So the other two manufacturers I mentioned are Rock-Ola and Seeburg. You tend to not find quite as many of these available at the moment, but there are some nice models in there, particularly Seeburgs. If you find a nice Seeburg, they do run really well, they sound great. I like their styling, but not everybody does. They can be a little bit sort of boxy, they're a bit square, but I do really like the fins. So the fins they have over the speaker grills and the lights that are in there, I think look really cool. So Seeburg is definitely worth considering. They are well renowned for being a good sounding, well playing jukebox that are actually very reliable. And Rock-Ola as well, they do some lovely models. They've got some really good designs where the title cards actually spin round on there as well, so that might take your fancy. So it's worth just having a look around to see what you can find, either that we've got available for sale or that you can find in the market, either on eBay or on other sort of specialist websites. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our run through of old and new jukeboxes. How would you choose what to buy? What do I think? Well, the vintage ones first of all, they look fantastic. Finding a good one though is difficult, and we're finding it harder and harder to find a good one. And then keeping them running as well can be fairly tricky. I mean, they're really old and they've led quite a active life. Generally they've come from the States and come all the way over here, had the voltage changed and changed hands between people quite a lot. So I do think that they look lovely and there's a certain allure to them, but bear in mind that the reliability may well be a challenge. Which brings you on to new jukeboxes. So the range of new jukeboxes is amazing. The fact that you can get Sound Leisure and Rock-Ola both making wonderful looking and sounding jukeboxes in CD, vinyl and digital format, so you can pick whichever one suits you best, I think is a fairly compelling reason to go for new. So it's over to you. I've given you a pretty good rundown, which has hopefully helped you on your way. If you'd like to come to the showroom, come and have a play, come and have a listen, see what you think, press a few buttons and enjoy them. I think that'll help you on your way to being able to make sure that you choose a jukebox which will last you for years. So that's it from me. Hope you've enjoyed this and I'll catch you next time.